morning. Welcome to Chabot College. We're excited to host Convocation this year, at least virtually. Although we had hopes of returning to an in-person setting for this momentous event, I'm excited that we are still able to gather, even if it is through a virtual environment. Today's program has an abundance of good information that will be shared, and I hope each of you takes something away that will inspire and motivate you to keep doing the great work that you are doing to support our community and our students. In order to accommodate a large audience, we are streaming this morning's program. Our teams have worked hard to put this program together for you. This is the second year of hosting this type of large-scale online event, as you know, and I hope that we can come together in person next year. Thank you for your patience, understanding, and continued support. I want to thank district staff in the Chancellor's Office, Public Relations and Marketing Office, and Educational Services and Student Success Offices. Also, thank you to my staff in the Chabot President's Office and Sue Joy in the TV studio. Thank you for helping make today's program possible. About the day's program, do note that individual college, district, or department and group meetings all are being held via Zoom, and you should check the emailed convocation agenda for those Zoom links. Please make sure to do that. Again, welcome. We hope you enjoy the day. And now, it's my honor and pleasure to introduce our next speaker, our Board President Trustee, Genevieve Randolph. Welcome, President Randolph.
Good morning, CLPCCD. Dr. Sperling, thank you to you and your team at Chabot College for hosting our virtual convocation this year. I know we all hoped we would be back together by this time, but at least we can connect virtually and take yet another step to strengthen our bond over our shared commitment to serving students. This year will be another testament to who we are as a district. Using this fall semester as a transition to in-person teaching, learning, and service, we are leading our students and communities in demonstrating safe practices while pursuing knowledge and continuing on the path to achieve dreams and goals. While we might be nervous about what the future holds, we can be positive about several things. First, our budget will see us through another year, and Hold Harmless has been extended 1 year through June 30th, 2025. In this budget, the legislator and the governor recognize our importance and value to our communities, along with our other community colleges in our system. This budget also puts an emphasis on the whole students with financial support for food and housing insecurity. Second, we will be breaking ground and cutting ribbons on new and renovated facilities, thanks to the support of the voters in our communities and through the hard work from so many of you. There is much to celebrate here in our district. I am honored to join you today to help kick off our celebration for fall 2021. I wish you all an excellent semester.
Thank you, Board President Randolph, for those opening words of welcome to all of our employees. Good morning and welcome to the beginning of a new academic year. Today marks our 2021 convocation, our coming together to celebrate the official opening of the 2021-2022 academic year. As you know, convocation provides an opportunity to emphasize and promote community among the members of our district, recognizing those who have been on campus throughout the summer and welcoming each other back for another year, and today is no exception. Due to continued circumstances with the COVID-19 pandemic, this is our second virtual convocation. While it would be wonderful to be together, I know this virtual event will bring about the same excitement and enthusiasm we've come to expect from Convocation as we prepare to come together as a district and welcome students back to this new academic year. For those of you that are new to our district, we extend a warm welcome to the CLPCCD family. I hope you feel the communal spirit and passion to serve our students that exist among our faculty, classified professionals, administration, and our Board of Trustees. And speaking of our Board of Trustees, I'd like to now introduce them and recognize them. First, we have Board President Genevieve Randolph. Next, Board Secretary Linda Granger. Trustee Dr. Hal Jin. Trustee Maria Heredia. Trustee Ed Maduli. Trustee Dr. Luis Reynoso, and Trustee Tim Sabrante. Now I'd like to introduce our college presidents. I'm so grateful to both Dr. Sperling and Dr. Foster, and am ever more appreciative of their partnership in helping lead our colleges through an extremely difficult year. They continue to do great work preparing our students to meet the workforce demands upon us now and into the future. This spring, both of our colleges conferred and awarded over 3,500 certificates and degrees. Amazing. First, I'd like to introduce Dr. Susan Sperling, who is now in her 9th year as president of Chabot College and has served at Chabot College for over 30 years. I'm grateful for her leadership, partnership, and counsel. Thank you, Susan. Next, I want to introduce Dr. Darrell Foster, who has been with us for about a year and a half now, and I'm sure he continues to ask himself what could possibly happen next. I'm so very appreciative of Dr. Foster's leadership and partnership during this time and in his first year as LPC president. I'm certain that this is not what he was anticipating in his first year as president and what it would look like. Something surely resembling an Alfred Hitchcock film. Thank you again, Susan and Darrell. Now I'd like to acknowledge and thank our district leadership team. First, we have Vice Chancellor of Human Resources, Wyman Fong. Vice Chancellor of Facilities and Bond Program, Owen Letcher. Vice Chancellor of Educational Services and Student Success, Teresa Fleischer Rowland. Vice Chancellor of Business Services, Jonah Nicholas. Chief Technology Officer, Bruce Griffin. And Acting Director of Public Relations, Marketing and Governmental Affairs, Jennifer Aries. And I cannot thank each of you enough for your leadership, unbounded energy, and the extraordinary work you have put in to navigate the many unforeseen twists and challenges that the COVID-19 pandemic continues to throw at us. Now, a few thank yous are in order. A special thanks to the Chabot President's Office and the Chabot team, especially Kirti Reddy, Christine Herrera, and Sujoy Sakar, who have helped coordinate the virtual efforts today. Lastly, I want to thank the district office team that includes Kelly, Patty, Deborah, Mujib, and Jennifer for taking the lead in various parts of the coordination efforts for today's event. Now I'd like to share with you a quick overview of our program this morning. I'll share with you some personal thoughts of this past year and our upcoming priorities for this academic year. We will present the Chancellor's Awards as well as the Unity Award, and the Las Positas Academic Senate will present the annual Reed L. Buffington Faculty Excellence Award. Thereafter, Vice Chancellor Jonah Nicholas will give us a budget update, followed by a COVID-19 fall planning update from Vice Chancellor Owen Letcher. And we'll take a few minutes to celebrate this past year. After the Chancellor's program, everyone will be able to join their respective groups or colleges for a continuation of our day together. Colleagues, I continue to be proud of the coordinated efforts our district has exhibited over the past 17 months. When this pandemic collided with life as we had known it then, we were in the middle of hiring a permanent chancellor, had just hired a permanent president at Las Positas College, was beginning to embark on our 5-year master planning process. We were leading a statewide advocacy campaign to bring to public view significant errors in a new state funding formula. And we were coping with the loss of a trustee who fell as an early victim to this COVID-19 disease. But in all the busyness of life, when it was most important, and in just 3 days, we transitioned to a predominantly online or remote instruction modalities so that we could continue to serve our students who looked to us for guidance, strength, and support. Then and now, we continue to move forward to plan for upcoming terms, ensuring safety for all and focusing on the needs of our students. Discussions continue to occur daily on how to achieve these two mandates, and in some circumstances, to some, it may appear that there may be divergent goals. We know that Alameda County case rates is at the highest level last seen in February of 2021, prior to the availability of vaccine to educators. We understand from our healthcare professionals that this increase is largely attributed to those in Alameda County who continue to be unvaccinated, and with the spread of this Delta variant. Colleagues, we also know that according to county vaccination data, that the majority of our students are those in our county that are most likely to be unvaccinated. Only 64% of Alameda County residents between the ages of 16 and 34 are fully vaccinated. Further, looking at the data based upon race and ethnicity, only 54% of Hispanic and Latino residents and only 51% of African American and Black residents are fully vaccinated at this time. This is compared to 72% of Alameda County residents who are currently vaccinated over the age of 12. These alarming disparities and differences are not attributed to the lack of availability of vaccine, colleagues. With this information, our approach to date for both students and employees alike has been to educate and encourage rather than mandate. I'm proud of the leadership that both Drs. Sperling and Foster have demonstrated by bringing to both colleges in our district testing as well as availability of vaccine. This approach to date has underscored the empathetic approach that is alignment with our commitment to equity, trust, and respect for our diverse communities. It recognizes and acknowledges that there are members of our community, students, who are just not there yet with regard to acceptance of the vaccine. It stresses and heightens with knowledge that our enrollment is significantly down. Based upon recently released state enrollment reports, our system, statewide, enrollment is down almost 90,000 full-time equivalent students, or about 10.25% statewide. Our district alone is down about 1,700 FTEs, or about 10%. And data for this fall term shows a continuance of this downward decline. However, there are some bright spots. Inquiries to our colleges have increased in the past few weeks, and new application numbers are trending upward. With that being said, colleagues, it provides, for me, little comfort knowing that our loss of enrollment is in alignment with colleagues around the state. Rather, it disturbs me greatly of the thought that we have students who have stopped out or gone elsewhere. To be sure, effort is in motion and resources are being expended to reach out to those students who have stopped out and or providing continuing students with the support that they require to persevere in pursuit of an opportunity to better their lives. It stresses me even further, colleagues, contemplating the possibility that our system and our district may not fully restore these enrollment losses within the remaining hold harmless period. We can all extrapolate and guess what this could mean in terms of access for our students, maintaining depth and breadth of academic programs and services, and providing stable and meaningful employment. Our efforts today will be the greatest predictor of the outcome of this. I believe we can meet both mandates, colleagues, as we enter this new academic year. We continue to educate and serve our students in a safe and responsible teaching and learning environment. We will continue to meet and, in certain circumstances, exceed Cal OSHA requirements and CDC guidelines for institutions of higher education. Our planning continues to follow these authoritative regulations and guidelines, and we will continue to engage our constituent groups and hear their voices and concerns as we move forward. And lastly, we continue to devote vital resources to maintain and support sufficient number of classes in all modalities, in-person, hybrid, online, synchronous and asynchronous, to ensure that students continue to have access to quality higher education. Colleagues, as we did 17 months ago, working together we will endure and overcome the known and unknown challenges that this academic year holds for us, for the sake and in service to our students. And I'd be remiss at this time if I didn't also recognize and acknowledge and thank our union leaders. I'm proud of our continued partnership we maintain and how we continue to collectively come together to respond to the immediate needs of our classified professionals, our faculty, our confidentials, supervisors, and administrators. We appreciate you and your respective teams, and a special acknowledgement and thank you is in order to Vice Chancellor Fong for coming together with our team and the countless hours spent responding to the challenges that we faced this last year. Thank you so very much. Now, to recap last year's priorities and look to this year's priorities. As you may recall, that last year, other than responding to COVID, we embarked on the development of our district-wide strategic plan and our educational master plans. The Board of Trustees approved these 3 documents in April of 2021. Our EMPs, Educational Master Plans, and District Strategic Plan articulate the vision that will guide decision-making and resource allocation into the future. I'd like to congratulate Presidents Foster and Sperling, Directors Samra and Kessler, and their teams and task forces for the 18+ months they dedicated to the process that developed and informed these planning documents. And thank you to Vice Chancellor Fleischer-Rowland for her efforts in coordinating the district-wide strategic plan. From these educational master plans and district-wide strategic plan, the district-wide strategic plan was created and built upon. And it highlights 5 strategic directions that the Board of Trustees have supported and approved as our district-wide priorities. These priorities include continuance of educational excellence, furthering community partnerships, sustained prioritized resources, improving institutional effectiveness, and a call to action to address anti-Blackness, racism, and all barriers to equity. Moving forward, you will see these priorities embedded into our planning processes and documents. Next, an update on our East Bay College Agile Network, or East Bay CAN. It's a developing partnership between our colleges and our colleagues at Cal State East Bay. The development of our Agile Network continues as we are now focusing on early proactive outreach to students with the intent to transfer to Cal State University East Bay. A CSU East Bay liaison will be on each of our campuses 2 days a week starting this fall. The CSU system is now interested in this work and how that our use of the program mapper can lead to 4-year maps for transfer and reverse transfer students. Very exciting. East Bay Can Refresh webinar is planned for fall of 2021, and we are in the process right now of formalizing this partnership and signing a letter of partnership. Funders who are interested in this program continue to be supporting our vision, innovation, and providing resources to support this effort. Next, accreditation. Our coordination committee continues to meet regularly. Our ICERs, or institutional self-evaluation reports, reflect the colleges and how they're doing as per the accreditation standards. Right now they are in draft form, and they will be vetted through our shared governance groups and processes throughout the fall term. Our ICERs are going to the Board of Trustees in November and December of 2021, and will be submitted to the ACCJC no later than the end of December of 2021 as well. Our colleges will host peer teams in a virtual welcome in March of 2022. And in October 10th of 2022, we will host peer visiting teams. The Commission, ACCJC, meets in January of 2023 to make a determination of our accreditation for our colleges based upon the peer team's recommendations and evidence that we provide during their visit. I would like to right now extend gratitude to our college accreditation teams, our liaison officers, CIOs, for their leadership in this tremendous effort and work. And lastly, of course, this year we will continue to evolve around circumstances related to COVID-19. Colleagues, it will be essential for all of us to serve as leaders on our colleges and in our communities to educate and promote the benefits of being vaccinated. We will continue to discuss and further conversations, ongoing conversations regarding the possibility of mandates. We will continue to closely monitor county and district data that will inform our safe work practices, as Vice Chancellor Letcher will share later this morning. And we will continue to follow authoritative guidelines and regulations and directives from the CDC, FDA, Cal OSHA, and our Alameda County Department of Public Health. And these efforts will continue, and through these efforts, we will continue to keep paramount your safety as well as the safety of our students. Now, allow me to introduce to you some new faces at our district office and colleges this past year. Colleagues, if I haven't welcomed you virtually yet, I want to welcome you now. Hopefully we can meet in person in the not too distant future. Also, when I say new employee, that may include movement from one classification to another, either adjunct to full-time, promotions, transfers, etc. We have listed all new employees on the screen by their college and district office department. Again, hopefully, we will be together in person sometime very soon. Meanwhile, hopefully, we will have made you feel welcome, albeit in this virtual environment. Next, our Classified Leadership Institute for Professionals, or CLIP. It's a year-long development program supported by the Chancellor's Office and our Human Resources Department. Their goals include cultivate professional leaders, encourage community-wide involvement, creating networking opportunities, build a supportive environment, illuminate leadership skills, recognize outstanding service and dedication, and provide guidance and mentorship support. Let's congratulate our 5th cohort who just completed their program this past June. And let's welcome our 6th cohort, pictured here this past July on a Zoom call. You'll see the names of our 6th cohort on the slide. I'd personally like to thank Vice Chancellor Fong for his leadership and efforts to ensure that we continue to have this valuable district-wide leadership program for our classified professionals. Now it's time for the awards part of our program. As many of you know, we have annual Chancellor's Awards where recipients of this award are nominated by their colleagues. The awards are to acknowledge and recognize those who have demonstrated creativity and promote excellence district-wide. Normally, we'd have our recipients stand to be recognized in the audience. So, as we're virtually, wherever you are, feel welcome to stand up, wherever you may be at this moment, and know that we are virtually sending you our applause. I will call out the names of the recipients for the 2021-2022 Chancellor Awards, but you can also see the names on the slides. For Chabot, we have Nicole Albrecht, Christina Barron, Emily Chan, John Chan, Gabriel Shapiro, Daryl Fabian, Cynthia Gordon de Cruz, Christine Herrera, Frank Coe, Tara Lee, Paulette Lino, Cherie Manicky, Christina Moon, Craig Shira, Michael Thompson, Stacy Thompson, and Lynn Tran. For Las Positas College, we have Evelyn Andrews, Kimberly Burks, Wanda Butterly, Tracy Coleman, Lindell Garner, Frances Huey, Amanda Ingold, Jeff Judd, Jason Maxwell, Jim Ott, Elizabeth Owens, Terrence Thompson, and Gary Wilkes. And for the district, Erica Avila Santillan, Alexandra Gallegos, Owen Letcher, Don Niederfer, Bill Pagano, and Nicole Winter. And if we can celebrate in person, please save the date for Thursday, November 4th for the Chancellor's Award Luncheon. Watch your email for more information. Hopefully we'll be able to meet and celebrate this recognition in person. Congratulations to all of this year's recipients. For this year's Unity Award, the Unity Award is presented to an individual or group of individuals that define unity, the state of being united or joined as a whole in unification. The selection criteria for this award include recognition of activities that lead to promoting unity, exhibiting attitude that is selfless in service, demonstration of devotion to duty, and promoting students and employees first. This year, the Unity Award goes to Vice Chancellor Letcher. Looking back at this last year, I can't think of anybody throughout the district that Vice Chancellor Letcher's work has not touched. He has certainly demonstrated all of these criteria. His continued leadership in developing and updating our district-wide COVID guidelines, providing hundreds of hours of training across our district, the countless emails and phone calls that he has answered, supporting and assisting all those who had questions or concerns about safe work practices, or his assisting in response to the few cases of COVID that we've had at our sites. Owen, we thank you for your tireless work this last year and for all you've done around the clock in advising, guiding, researching, and counseling us. Much gratitude and appreciation. Now, our third award is given by the Academic Senate President to an outstanding faculty member. So let me ask Sarah Thompson, Las Positas College Academic Senate President, to present the Reed L. Buffington Faculty Excellence Award in honor of Dr. Reed Buffington, the first president of Chabot who served for over 20 years.
One of the greatest privileges of being Academic Senate President is that throughout the year I get to honor different faculty, classified professionals, and administrators that help make our community great. In any given year, so many people step up to be more than their jobs, and we need to have a healthy economy of gratitude to honor that work. Today's honor, the Reed Buffington Award, is the only one I get to present that recognizes a career of being more than, a Lifetime Faculty Contribution Award. I have known this faculty recipient of 2021 for 25 years. This faculty member had an office right across the hall from me when I came to LPC in 1996. You always knew this faculty member's office, as students were typically lined up outside, anxious for some one-on-one time during her office hours. We have had many female faculty fashionistas, but this faculty member actually coordinated her wardrobe based on the lecture she was going to give that day. That level of commitment, that level of ingenuity is what led our college to have a disproportionate number of geology majors. The first words out of her mouth when I told Ruth Hanna that she had won the award this year was to immediately list all of the people she thought should have gotten it instead of her. We love you, Ruth, for your humility and your generosity of heart. But as you hear the testimonies of your colleagues, know that you embody all that is Reed Buffington.
I have known Ruth Hanna for 16 years, and we work very closely with each other since our two disciplines are interlinked in so many different ways. I started teaching in community colleges back in 1991, the same year Ruth started here at LPC. In that entire length of time, I have never seen an instructor more passionate about her students or spend more time putting together material for her students and classes. My courses are pretty darn good preparation-wise, but if you would put up my courses side by side to hers, mine look like they were put together by a bunch of minions. And to be honest, so would 99% of all courses in our district. She is constantly learning, constantly inventing new ways and techniques of teaching, accumulates so much material over time with the ultimate goal of creating the best learning environment for her students. Instructors should take a peek at her classes in Canvas. Again, you would realize how much time, and I mean years, and thousands upon thousands of pages have gone into the development of her classes. And she never slows down or takes time off. She gets new material while she travels, while she commutes, while she goes to the grocery store. She is always on the clock, so to speak. My guess is that she will continue this trend all the way until she retires in her 100s. Anyway, congratulations, Ruth. This is a well-deserved Lifetime Achievement Award, and I was thrilled for you when I first found out that you had won.
Hello, my name is Shauna Edson. I came into this teacher's class at the serendipitous suggestion of my godfather, the late great chemistry professor Art Delaray. It was 1998, just about a decade into this instructor's teaching career, and I was a teenager with a lot of potential interests. In that first class, she showed us an incredible series of images from all around the world. Tall volcanoes, star-shaped sand dunes, huge rock arches jutting out of ocean cliffs, rivers cutting through mountain ridges, and even the lumpy hillsides around the Las Positas campus. Then she said, by the end of this course, you're going to understand everything you just saw. I was floored. Really, all of that? Whoa! And then she began to explain the layers of the Earth, drawing diagrams on the whiteboard with every color of whiteboard marker. And she made it so utterly fascinating that I knew this was what I wanted to do with my life. I spent the next 5 semesters taking every one of her classes, including the field trip colloquium that had us hiking around Mount Diablo and examining the layers of chert in the Marin Headlands. I also became her lab assistant, helping prepare the rock and mineral samples for students, not to mention the many props and demonstrations she used to illustrate concepts in class. Working behind the scenes, I got to see some of the method behind the magic of her teaching. She puts so much time and thought into how she will explain things that will make what will make ideas clear and understandable, what scaffolding concepts the students will need before they can grasp the main idea. There was never a semester where she didn't evaluate and improve her lectures, looking for better wordings or clearer images to use for illustration. Everything was focused on the students. What would they need? How could she build on their existing knowledge? And what would connect these ideas back to their everyday lives? Her classroom style was enthusiastic and joyful, conveying the awe that she felt about the wonders of how our amazing planet works. You really couldn't help but be drawn in by it. Because of this instructor, I went on to get my bachelor's in geology at an Ivy League university. And while I had a lot of excellent professors there, she will always be my favorite teacher, the one who showed me this path. Inspired by her enthusiasm, I went into education myself, landing at the Smithsonian, where I get to teach museum visitors about the Earth and space and our place in the universe, diving into the geology of Mars and the Moon and all the other rocks in our solar system. Every time I see the light dawn in a visitor's eyes, I am reminded of how this teacher inspired me from that very first class. She's created so many thousands of light bulb moments over the years and shown so many nervous students that science can be captivating. And it has all been the result of her incredibly dedicated, extremely hard work. I am beyond thrilled that her decades-long focus on her students is being recognized with this award. So from every one of us whose lives you've touched, thank you and congratulations.
I am very honored to stand here and congratulate Ruth Hanna as the recipient of the Reed Buffington Award this year. In October, it will have been 2 years since I started working together with Ruth at the Geology Department. Over that time, I've enjoyed collaborating together to create virtual geology materials, recording YouTube videos, and becoming great friends. Ruth's passion for geology is shown in her lessons both online and in person, which is why both her faculty and students love her very much. She's the type of person who always has her teacher's hat on, even with me during our weekly Zoom meetings last year during the pandemic. Just last semester, she spent a considerable amount of time helping me prepare for a research paper for a class I was taking, because that's what Ruth does. She's always offering what help she can to her students and her coworkers. Congratulations, Ruth. Lots of love from the Geology Department.
It is my honor to share a few words today about my friend and colleague, Ruth Hanna. I first met Ruth when I was a brand new faculty member. Ruth was part of a small and mighty science team who helped form the culture of LPC that still lives on today. I was and still am in awe of this incredible group of teachers and mentors: Delaray, Peel, Bryson, Harpel, Solomon, and Hannah. Ruth was already legendary as a teacher. Before there was a science building, Ruth used to cart all the geology lab materials to lecture rooms, bringing in old shelves to form lab benches between student desks. She used to teach labs at the high schools in Dublin and Pleasanton and ferried her own lab materials. In Pleasanton, imagine that she had to teach oceanography where the only source of water was in the restroom. Ruth was one of the first to adopt online learning, creating engaging and rich resources to inspire generations of students who raved about how much they learn in Ruth's classes. She holds the highest standards and makes learning fun. Did you know that she used to come to class wearing full scuba gear? Ruth's enthusiasm goes beyond the classroom, as you can tell from all the people who work with her. I always enjoy talking to Ruth about ocean creatures and her marine adventures. Just this week, we were texting back and forth about the animal known as the wandering meatloaf. Yes, that's what it's called. Look it up. It is important to note that Ruth has been and is the sole geology full-time faculty member at LPC, and her vision of the geology program has guided the department in its metamorphosis into a rock star department. She helped design the geology lab in Building 1800, which now houses more than 10,000 rocks and minerals and other samples, lovingly built up like sedimentary rock over decades by Ruth's pedagogical expertise. It has also been a privilege to see Ruth's commitment to support students in the college and district. Among many other committees that she has served on, Ruth's work on CEMC demonstrated her thoughtful and insightful, incisive analysis and her ability to take on an organizational perspective. She has worked tirelessly to build and sustain an inclusive team of geology faculty and classified professionals who share resources, learn together, and always seek to serve our students. Ruth has built many courses: environmental geology, historical geology, and most recently an earth science for educators class that will help build a pipeline of teachers through our ECE program. Thank you for letting me share a few highlights of why Ruth is an exemplary Reed Buffington Award honoree. My attempt to use all three types of rock as an analogy fails me a little here as I try to squeeze the word igneous in. Ruth has created a lasting legacy of strength, igneous, formed through hard work. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Carol Edson, and I'm going to introduce you to some other sides of the person you know as Instructor Ruth Hanna. We're going to go on a few adventures, and you're going to see some things that you probably were not aware that this amazing human being can do. Let's go. Here's Ruth and her sister Robin as little munchkins, and a few years later, we have a geologist and a marine biologist. Here's Ruth in Hawaii visiting the newest land on Earth. Still at about 2,000 degrees, so one should be careful when approaching it, but it's pretty exciting if you're a geologist to get up close and personal with lava. Here's some examples of hikes. Upper left is a student field trip in Sunol Regional Park. In the middle is a hike down at Sycamore Grove here in Livermore. And to the right is Ruth sitting on the sort of visor portion of Half Dome in Yosemite. Here she is in Desolation Wilderness and at the very top of Mount Lassen, the tippy top. Here's a view into her family life, her mom, and then here she is with her dad. Here's coming back from Honolulu Bay on the Terralani, where the main goal is not to give your hat to the Pacific Ocean because it is always so windy. This is Ruth snorkeling. I truly think in some ways she is an aquatic creature rather than a land-based life form. Here she is with a tridacna clam in Palau diving. And here she is with some soft corals, also in Palau. Looking for small, fun things like shrimp or nudibranchs. Here she is herding some goatfish. This is what happens when you go boogie boarding and there's a tropical storm. The landing isn't always what you hoped. Here's our dogs. My husband and I have always had Bichons, and Ruth is Auntie Ruth to all of them. Bread baking, another thing that during the pandemic became a source of joy and good food. Hiking in the hills around Livermore and Pleasanton. It's often hot and dusty, but it's always beautiful. Other hobbies of Ruth's include crocheting. And anytime we're in Maui, we go to the Paia Fish Market, and that happy face on the right is waiting for her meal to appear. Cheers to you, Ruth.
Thank you very much. This is a tremendous honor. Please bear with me today, as I don't think that I've given a speech since high school speech requirements. When I teach, I prepare outlines and plan how I want to explain and develop concepts, but I don't write out exactly how I want to say each sentence. And then, typically, when I reach the end of class time, I always have much more that I want to say to the students. But no worries, they told me that there was a time limit for me here today, and I didn't see an option for a PowerPoint full of geology slides, so this shouldn't take too long. So here we go. After completing 30 years at LPC, I have been awed by the quality and caliber of the staff at LPC and Chabot. I am astonished by the diversity of teaching styles and pedagogies, along with different class formats and the numerous types of technology and software being effectively integrated into course classes. I often leave a class observation thinking about how I could integrate some of these things into my classes, and sometimes I get the chance to do that. However, one of the many takeaways from my teaching career is that those differences between classes, courses, and instructors, those are an important and essential part of a student's college education. In other words, if all of our classes follow the same format or use the same cool app, then those things become boring to our students, and uniformity or conformity wouldn't prepare students for the diverse variety of experiences, challenges, and opportunities that await them after college. So thank you, one and all, for contributing to the breadth of experiences that combine to create the best educational foundation for our students. Special thanks to the LPC geology staff, past and present, from the wonderful part-time faculty to the astounding geoscience technicians. Special shout outs to both Christina and Carol. A notable thank you to my fellow geoscience faculty, Tom Orff, who has been a considerate and wonderful colleague. And a thank you to Nan Ho for stepping up and shouldering the numerous responsibilities of the STEM Dean position. And thank you to Linda Cross for everything that she does for our division. A heartfelt thank you to everyone who has helped make the geology program achieve academic success with our students. After all of these years of teaching, I still love working on my class presentations. And even now, I work on them before each and every class. Geology has become more and more amazing and more beautiful to me as the years have passed. And I enjoy teaching geology more every year. Before every semester starts, many of my students think geology is going to be a class all about rocks and minerals. And that does not sound exciting to most of them. But it satisfies their GE, so they figure they'll suffer through it. Geology, however, does not mean the study of rocks and minerals. Geology means the study of the earth. And that includes earthquakes, and volcanoes, and landslides, and ice ages, and fossils, and so much more. Geology is just amazing. One of my favorite sentences from a student critique at the end of the term was, "I loved the class. You taught me so much about stuff I never knew I wanted to know about." That just makes me smile every time I think about it. Most of us are passionate about our specialties, and I am especially grateful for my opportunities to share geology with our students. Special thank yous to each and every one of my students, past, present, and future. Your curiosity and questions helped me think about familiar things in new ways and from unique perspectives. I hope the geology that you learned informs and enhances your future explorations of the planet. And thank you to all of the staff that make LPC and Chabot function. Without all of the college humanware, we would not be able to offer quality college courses. Thank you to the stellar IT staff, the wonderful librarians and counselors and M&O and administration, and all of the others who do their part and who are so helpful to both the students and other staff. And even though they are no longer with us, thank you to all of the campus staff who were here but have now retired. Their contributions to our institution were invaluable. We stand on their shoulders. And lastly, thank you to those of you who took the time to nominate me for this award. Thank you for the recognition and for the opportunity to send my heartfelt appreciation and thanks to everyone who helps our students achieve successful experiences in their collegiate explorations and journeys. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to all of our award recipients. Let's give them a virtual applause.
I originally came into community college thinking I was going to be like biology and doing pre-med, and then I joined choir my second semester. I just love singing with other people and like making music with other people. For me, community college has a lot of benefits because it's so affordable. My parents are from the Philippines, and when I told them I wanted to go to community college, they were like, "What's that?" Community college wasn't an option for them, so it was up to me to kind of like demystify the concept and like how you can totally transfer to a 4-year from a community college. I get to just have a closer relationship with my professors. I'm really happy that like I went here and I'm getting to know more about this like subject that I like love.
I decided to go to Chabot College because it was a good intermediate step to a 4-year. It was very cost efficient for myself and as well as my family, and also was a very good experience from a lower class size. Before attending Chabot College, I saw myself at a 4-year university, either playing sports or just getting my degree. Also, as a student at Chabot College, you didn't have to worry about SAT and ACT to get into a university, as well as the opportunities to transfer into those same colleges. Coming to Chabot, I noticed that my education did not downgrade at all. I was still attending the same classes. I was still doing the same things that my peers were doing at, say, a 4-year college. The Chabot College counselors helped pave the way for me all the way through my academic process. They helped me get in contact with such various programs like MESA, who helped with my registration status, as well as financial aid process. Now, not only do I feel ready to graduate from Chabot College to a 4-year institution, but also I feel ready to move forward with my career.
Now I'd like to introduce our Vice Chancellor of Business Services, Jonah Nicholas, to provide us with a short budget update.
Greetings, faculty, staff, and classified professionals. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak at what is my first convocation within the Chabot-Las Positas Community College District. Please allow me to introduce myself to those that may be unfamiliar with me. My name is Jonah Nicholas, and I was hired as the Vice Chancellor of Business Services and began working for the district in November of last year. Needless to say, starting a new position during a pandemic has its own unique challenges. But I look forward to meeting more of my colleagues across the district as our colleges begin welcoming employees and students back to campus. In the meantime, I'd like to give you all an update as to the current financial status of the district and bring you up to speed on some of the other important work going on at both a state and local level. To start, we will cover the enacted state budget and showcase some of the highlights for the community college system. As you are likely aware, the enacted state budget brought a lot of positive news for the community college system and provided substantially more resources than either the governor's January proposal or the May revision. Next, we will look at the effects of those additional state resources as it pertains to the district's adoption budget. The news, as you can probably imagine, is quite positive and will allow greater resources for all district sites. We will then shift gears a bit and provide a brief update on the ongoing work at the Planning and Budget Committee, particularly as it pertains to a potential new budget allocation model. Finally, the district recently established an irrevocable trust for other post-employment benefits, or OPEB for short. The funds deposited into this trust are exclusively for funding the substantial liability the district has accrued for retiree health benefits. The value of the irrevocable trust is already being felt, and I'll give an update on how a dramatic shift in the liability has occurred. In the largest cost of living adjustment I've seen in my 10 years with the California community colleges, a COLA of 5.07% is being provided. This results in an additional $5.8 million in year-over-year apportionment revenue for the district. Resources that can be utilized to further our mission and serve our students and community. Continuing to ride the wave of good news, the state recognized the struggles happening statewide with enrollment and extended the hold harmless provision under the student-centered funding formula another year. With the vast majority of districts experiencing decline, the extension of the provision garnered significant support within the system. Protection from the student-centered funding formula will now continue through fiscal year 2024-25, and the greater than $10 million in annual hold harmless dollars will continue. This is a big win for our district and the other districts receiving these crucial dollars. The state budget also paid back all the deferrals resulting from the pandemic-led recession. This will enable future years' ongoing funding to be directed at system priorities as opposed to being directed at paying back system debt. Further, large sums in both one-time and ongoing funding are being provided, including significant dollars in deferred maintenance, full-time faculty funding, and dollars to support recruitment and retention of students. The state is also funding ongoing increases to categorical programs, with significant increases to strong workforce and the Student Equity and Achievement Program. Again, very positive news on additional funds for restricted categoricals. How do these increases in state funding affect the district's unrestricted fund? Well, you can see in this table the effects of the 5.07% COLA compared to the just 1.5% COLA we incorporated into the tentative budget. An additional $4.7 million is being allocated to the sites in the current revenue allocation model. These funds help offset the 2% salary increase given last year when no COLA was given by the state, as well as the 2% salary increase that went into effect on July 1, 2021. These dollars also assist in offsetting the increased pension contributions being made by the district for the CalPERS and CalSTRS pension programs. Overall, the increases at the state level are a very good result for the community college system and the district. We'll shift gears a bit now to move to more local items and talk briefly about the work being done at the Planning and Budget Committee on developing a new budget allocation model. A little over a year ago, in July 2020, PBC opted to meet twice per month, with one of those meetings dedicated solely to work on a new budget allocation model. Robust discussions occur during each meeting, and PBC now discusses the BAM at both its regular and special meetings, trying to make progress and reach consensus. To that end, models have been built that replicate the SCIF, student-centered funding formula, and incorporate the components of that funding model, FTES, supplemental, and success allocations. While there are a number of questions to answer and decisions to make, particularly on the expense side of the model, the committee has developed a timeline and decision matrix. The goal of the committee is to have a recommendation to the chancellor for implementation in fiscal year 2022-23. Please stay engaged with your local representatives as this committee continues its important work. And finally, I'd like to share some other positive developments that have occurred within the district. Over the last several months, the governing board approved the formation of a retirement board of authority to oversee an irrevocable trust whose dollars can only be used to pay for other post-employment benefits, or OPEB for short. These OPEB benefits, which in our district consist solely of retiree health benefit obligations, are a significant liability on the district's balance sheet, greater than $250 million. Currently, the district uses a pay-as-you-go strategy for these retiree health benefits. In other words, it pays its obligations as they come due, but does not save any money for future obligations. With the establishment of the irrevocable trust, the district now has a vehicle to put dollars aside beyond the pay-as-you-go amounts and invest those dollars at much higher rates of return than is available through the county treasurer. The irrevocable trust has the added advantage of allowing the actuary to use a greater estimated rate of return on those investments. This greater rate of return has a profoundly positive effect on the district's calculated OPEB liability. By increasing the estimated rate of return from around 2% to a little more than 6%, the district's liability was reduced in the latest actuarial report by nearly $102 million. This profound change is positive news for the district and is a powerful piece of information for the Accrediting Commission, who has a specific standard related to OPEB liabilities. Lastly, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to provide this information. Oftentimes, the finance folks speak the language of doom and gloom, so it is a nice treat to be able to provide what I hope is uplifting news. Have a wonderful rest of the convocation. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonah. Now, I'd like to introduce our Vice Chancellor of Facilities, Bond Program and Operations, and as we most recently added, COVID-19 mitigation, Owen Letcher, to provide us with a COVID-19 Fall 2021 Safe Work Practices update.
Good morning and welcome to Convocation for Fall 2021. I'm Owen Letcher, Vice Chancellor of Facilities, Bond Program and Operations, and by default, the COVID-19 Safety Coordinator for the district. Today, I want to provide you with an update as to the safe work practices for fall semester 2021. Thank you to the college presidents, Chancellor Gerhardt, and the reopening task force members who have helped guide the district over the past 18 months on matters related to COVID-19. And all the changes that we have adjusted to, adapted the planning, and pivoted on a moment's notice to address the unprecedented world event. The past couple of months have brought some rapid changes that will impact the way we work and teach students in the near future. Through all of this, the safety of our staff, students, and the public have been our #1 priority. In June, we were looking to what would happen when the state moved beyond the blueprint. These changes provided some hope and prospects for a return to normal environment. CDC issued an update for higher education for the first time in 8 months. The governor reopened California and announced that we moved beyond the blueprint. The Cal OSHA Safety Board issued a modification to the Emergency Temporary Standards, or ETS, that provided hope as an employer. However, the Cal OSHA ETS requires that employers verify all employees' vaccination status before we allow unmasked individuals in the workplace. Since that time, the district leadership has worked with legal counsel to determine the requirements to meet this standard. I'm happy to say we're close to having final documents ready for rollout. But the Delta variant has caused pause for some of our activities. In every case, the district has remained committed to safety for the fall semester and have implemented standards that are above and beyond those allowed by the public health and other authorities. We're asking that you tell us your vaccination status because knowing the vaccination status of everyone in our community will allow us to engage in intentional, realistic planning for the academic year. The self-attestation form, by the time this is displayed, is available from your supervisor or available on our website. First, I want to talk a little bit about guidance that we've received. From the CDC, for institutions of higher education, they recommended that we promote vaccines. The district and colleges have done that. In fact, the colleges have vaccines available on campus through the campus health clinics, and have done so since May 2021. Second, the CDC guidance is focused on the same things as our Injury and Illness Prevention Plan amendment, which focuses on face coverings are recommended for indoor and in crowded outdoor settings. Physical distancing is a good practice. Hand hygiene and respiratory etiquette is important. Case investigations and contact tracing following a known case or an exposure to a case. Testing of individuals who are symptomatic, and finally, at-home health screening before coming to work or attending in-person classes. Cal OSHA guidance has been slightly different, as Cal OSHA is focused solely on employees and not on the public or students who are in ours or any other working environment. For Cal OSHA, they defined employees as vaccinated and unvaccinated with differing rules for each specific group. They do not require physical distancing. They do specify that employers must provide an N95 respirator to unvaccinated employees who request one, and that the employer must have a training program available to all employees. Hopefully, all of you have participated in the trainings to date. If not, they're available on the district website. OSHA provided a definition of outbreaks and major outbreaks with mandatory reporting for each of these newly defined categories. The district has taken the previous guidelines from OSHA and CDC and adapted our injury and illness prevention plan and safe work practices to align with each in a way that provides the least risk to anyone within the college community. First, we have maintained social distancing standards for employees as well as for our students. Our classroom capacities will be reduced to allow more social distancing. 3 to 4 feet for students and 6 feet for staff. This includes space at the front of each classroom for instructional staff to work while distanced from the first row of students. Second, face coverings will be required indoors for everyone, and outdoors when the 6-foot social distancing cannot be maintained. We continue to promote personal hygiene and are asking everyone to perform a personal health screening at home prior to coming to the campus or to any of the district workplaces. So what does social distancing look like? Student desks will be further apart and the number of student chairs have been limited. Signs have been posted on all instructional spaces to indicate the reduced capacity of the room, and the number of chairs have been adjusted to match. Overbooking of a room will not be allowed for the upcoming semester. Employees who request an N95 respirator per Cal OSHA will be provided one and will be instructed to verify that the respirator fits correctly and they know how to put on and take off the respirator. Any individual requesting a face covering will be provided a 3-layer surgical face covering, and these are available at multiple locations around the district, including in all classrooms. Our custodial staff will maintain the supply during the daily cleaning activities and upon request. Personal hygiene is an effective method to reduce the spread between individuals and to limit the cold virus spread as well. All locations will have signage promoting hand washing and covering your cough or sneeze with either a tissue or your elbow. Environmental cleaning will be done by district custodial staff on a daily basis. That does not mean that an individual cannot perform additional cleaning, and we have provided environmentally safe supplies for individuals to do that if they wish throughout our facilities, including a sanitation station as shown on this slide in each classroom. Building on our policy for wildfire wood smoke, we have verified that our building filtration systems are up to the current standards set by the state. Maintenance staff have adjusted to the best of our ability the air handlers and fan units to provide as much outside air as possible while maintaining the indoor air temperature at a comfortable level. To that end, we encourage you to open doors and windows when available and outdoor conditions allow for increased airflow into buildings and into your workspace. What does that mean? Doors can be open when the temperature is above 60 degrees and below 90 degrees outdoors, when the air quality index is below 100, and when other outside factors such as light winds, limited outdoor noises, toads not falling from the sky, or other cataclysmic events that are not present happen during your workday. And again, no safe work practice presentation would be complete without a reminder from SpongeBob. You all remember SpongeBob from our earlier trainings and videos. One system will not provide ultimate protection. It is by layering our protections together that we reduce our risk of exposure. These methods are the basis of our plan, and the science shows this effort works. The district will continue this layering approach until we can move back to a more normal instructional year. Finally, your safety and the safety of all individuals who visit or take classes on our campuses is and will remain our number-one priority. I hope that this review and summary of our actions taken will reassure you that we have maintained your health and safety as the top priority across the district. If you have questions or concerns, please bring them up to your supervisor and local leadership. Seek out information from a reliable source and do not fall prey to the internet clickbait or the latest headline. Research the source and get background information on everything you've read. Any plan is only as effective if we stick with the plan and follow the guidance provided to us by the professionals. Should we face an outbreak in the upcoming semester, I do not anticipate that we will implement a complete closure, but that we will layer back on some of the established restrictions and continue to serve our students. Thank you for your time today, and I look forward to seeing you all in 3 dimensions in the near future as we get back on track to providing excellent student service and instruction to our students and the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Owen. Thank you, everybody, for your participation, and I hope this portion of the program was helpful. Now, colleagues, we have come to the end of our program, but before I close out with some personal thoughts, I'd like to remind you first of the following. First, take a look at your emailed handout for the detailed agenda for today's meetings. Zoom links are included in that document. Second, don't forget to join your respective district and college breakout meetings along with your respective discipline or collaborative meetings this afternoon. Again, Zoom links are included on your convocation detailed agenda. So now, allow me to close out with some personal thoughts. Despite our virtual setting and not being able to see each other in person, I do hope this year's convocation was still meaningful and informative for each of you. We continue to endure very challenging, interesting, and dynamic times, both in terms of academia as well as societal. There's a lot that has come at us this last year, and there's certainly more to continue. If the last 17 months has taught us or shown us anything, it is that the only constant in this environment is change itself. We will continue to plan, but we should also expect to continue to embrace adaptability, flexibility, and change. As unexpected challenges will arise, I encourage all of us to continue to lean on each other to help cope and get through these challenges. I remind all of us to engage with each other. Let us continue to trust and lean on each other for support, motivation, and encouragement, colleagues. Together, we have been able to rise to any challenge, and I'm confident that we will continue to rise to future challenges that arise before us for the benefit and the support of our students and communities we serve, colleagues. Thank you for all of your continued partnership and collaboration. I look forward to what will be a great 2021-2022 academic year.